city's different now. I keep thinking of my folks. They thought this place was something worth protecting.
Quite possibly the least vegan thing I could ever eat. Traditionally, pig guts in a stew of pig blood. This one here it's like deep fried pork, but still in the blood. So, just so you know, I'm not totally vegan. I'll eat meat for the culture. Okay, I'm back. I'm back struggling to reach the same gym from earlier today, or yesterday, depending on when this video goes up. Just trying to make use of my free raid pass for the day before heading back to edit video number 2. This video. Hopefully this time I don't get kicked out, although technically I don't think I'm inside the mall right now, but you never know. I'll just try not to look conspicuous by talking to myself. I picked up a salad to wash down that Dunaguan later. Ooh. So this is going to be one of those videos where there's a little bit of cinematics at the beginning, and for the rest of it, I'm going to be sitting right here, talking. Not my favorite type of video to make, but with so much new information coming out about Pokemon Go right now, I really just want to take advantage of it, get these videos out, get the information to you, and then also buy myself some time so that I can work and put a little bit more effort into the other videos that I'm creating while I'm here in the Philippines. So at this point, let me just say that this video is being recorded before Gen 3 has actually launched. It might go up after Gen 3 launches. I'm not sure because at this point, we don't know exactly when Gen 3 is going to drop. So just keep that in mind, timeline-wise. I guess it doesn't really matter because it's about weather, which is not coming until later this month. So here we go. Everything we know about weather and its effects in Pokemon Go starts now. I guess technically for the rest of the video I'll be sitting here and not there, just to make things a little more interesting and comfortable. So to start, weather is being added to Pokemon Go, and this is real-time weather. The weather in-game will depend on the weather in your current location. So if it's raining where you are, it'll be raining in-game. If it's cloudy, it'll be cloudy in-game. If it's foggy, it'll be foggy in-game. And all this weather will have effects on different types of Pokemon. So in the game data right now, there are 7 different types of weather. You have clear, rainy, partly cloudy, overcast, windy, snow, and fog. And there are 4 different levels for rain, wind, snow, and fog. So depending on how heavy the rain or snow or wind or fog is, that might manifest differently in-game. It might just look different on the overworld map, but have the same effects across all levels. I guess before we go any further, we can expect to see this weather update in Pokemon Go later this month. From The Verge's article on the update, they say that the second part of the update, which Niantic says will start rolling out towards the end of this month, will bring this aspect to Pokemon Go. Weather is coming later this month. Now, the rest of this information is just going to be sort of compiled from all the different articles that have been written about the Gen 3 release, and everyone who's writing these articles has access to a press kit that Niantic sends out. They give them information, and these writers also get an opportunity to speak to Niantic and ask questions. So here's all the information that we have so far about weather. First of all, from IGN, weather changes will affect all Pokemon, not only those from Hoenn. So in case you were curious, Gen 1 and 2 Pokemon will also be affected by weather. As for what those weather effects are, again, from IGN, weather itself makes the Pokemon more emboldened and makes sure the strongest of their species end up showing up. So you'll find stronger Pokemon as you encounter them, and you'll see a little bit of a bonus anytime you capture one. You'll get some additional Stardust anytime you capture a Pokemon that has an affinity with the current weather. And from the video previews that we've seen, that's going to be a 25% increase in the amount of Stardust that you receive. The Verge's article on the subject gives a little bit more detail. Depending on the conditions outside, you'll see different creatures out in the wild. A rainy day will mean more Water-type Pokemon, while snow will bring out the Ice types. We don't have any Pokemon that will only show up in a given weather condition, says Slemon of Niantic. But there are some Pokemon who care a lot about their weather conditions, so you can expect Lotad to show up in really large numbers when it's raining outside. Lotad is a new Pokemon from Gen 3 with a lily pad on its head. But if you live in an area where it doesn't really have that much rain, you might still see a Lotad wandering through your habitat. So Pokemon will not be entirely weather exclusive. Some Pokemon will show up a lot in specific types of weather, but they won't ever show up only in specific types of weather. So if you live in Southern California like I do, and it pretty much never rains, you don't have to worry, you will still be able to catch water Pokemon, especially near bodies of water, right? I don't think biomes are changing too much, but they will sort of be augmented by weather effects. Continuing in the Verge's article, water Pokemon caught on a rainy day will generally have a higher CP level, which will make them harder to defeat, but also produce better rewards if captured. Now, they say defeat. I don't think that means we're going to be battling wild Pokemon. I think that probably might refer to raid bosses, which comes up next. But as far as how the higher CP works, it's not clear if that means... But as for how that CP increase is going to work, it's not clear if that means they'll just have access to better IVs, kind of like Pokemon that hatch from eggs or raid bosses, which are limited to an IV of 10 to 15, or if that means they'll spawn at a higher level. I don't think things will start spawning above the level 30 cap. But again, it's not entirely clear how this CP increase is going to work for weather-affected spawns. Now, you can tell what weather-affected spawns are because they have a little swirl under them, the same way that incense Pokemon have the incense around them, lured Pokemon have pink rings underneath them. You will have an indication that a certain Pokemon is being affected by the current weather conditions. This article continues, raid bosses may be stronger on a given day based on the weather, while your Charizard will be more effective in gym battles when it's hot and sunny. Not too specific there, but fire-type moves are going to be boosted during sunny weather. Now, raid bosses may be stronger on a given day based on the weather. That means certain raid bosses are going to get harder to defeat during certain weather, while other ones might become easier if the Pokemon that you use to counter them are getting a boost from the weather. We'll talk about that in a second. You won't see instances where an Ice-type Pokemon is weaker because it's a blistering summer day. We prefer to give bonuses rather than penalties where we can, which means Pokemon are not going to be affected negatively by weather. You're not going to have a Pokemon stats reduced. Now from an article from Express, a British news outlet or website that I've actually never heard of before this. If you go into a battle at a gym or raid with your Charizard partner, you should expect that in the sun their fire-type moves will do additional damage, like I just said. That means defenders who can correctly predict what the weather patterns are going to be will be in a much better position to defend those gyms against players who don't. True, you're going to see a boost to certain Pokemon in certain weather, but again, with the gym system and CP decay, by the time they reach 1000 CP, 1500 CP, it's not going to be a problem. Currently, the gym game is not challenging enough that a small boost due to weather is really going to make a huge difference. Now, this continues. As you can imagine, this will make big changes to Pokemon GO raid battles, providing more strategy to the decision of joining one. Basically meaning, if it's sunny and that Solar Beam Ho-Oh gets a huge boost, you're probably going to need more people than you would otherwise. If that raid boss has more affinity to the weather in the area, it's going to be a more difficult opponent. The trade-off is that if you can then capture the Charizard, I think here referring to a raid boss Charizard, you're going to get a good one. If you capture the Charizard, you still get the bonus Stardust in addition to find that the Charizard has higher CP. Again, not clear how this works. Most likely it'll be increased IVs. Raid bosses already have increased IVs. They can be anywhere from 10 to 15. If it's a sunny day and you're fighting a fire-type raid boss, maybe it'll be 12 to 15. An even smaller range, a higher range. Maybe it'll guarantee that it'll be at least above 80%. Now, continuing on, Pokemon care about the dominant weather condition outside, so we send that to the user, which means if there are multiple conditions going on, if it's windy and rainy, one will somehow be chosen as the dominant weather condition. So you shouldn't expect to see multiple weather conditions going on at the same time in the game. somehow, based on the algorithm, whatever weather reporting service Niantic is using, they're going to choose one to be the dominant weather system or condition. Every weather condition has a couple of Pokemon types attached to it, so it means every Pokemon has at least one kind they care about. Who wrote this article? There's a lot of just small errors that really... Now, you can see what types are being affected by the weather with the new weather widget that's added to the game. Right above the nearby list, there's a little icon that shows you what type of weather you're currently experiencing. Tapping on that brings up a window that tells you about the weather and the types of Pokemon that it's affecting. Now, as for the types affected and the actual effects on these Pokemon, we have confirmation for 5 of the different types of weather. Remember, there are 7, so there are 2 that we don't know yet. Those are overcast and partly cloudy, which are apparently slightly different. So we have confirmation for clear weather, which is basically like the default for Southern California at least. Grass, ground, and fire types will be boosted. These Pokemon types are stronger, appear more frequently, and give bonus Stardust when caught. We've talked about appearing more frequently, we've talked about bonus Stardust. As far as being stronger, they are going to see a 20% increase in their move damage, and we're calculating that 20% based on a screenshot from the Japanese Pokemon GO announcement, which shows a Charizard whose fire-type moves are boosted by clear or sunny weather. And if you run the math there, that is plus 20% to each of its moves, rounded up for the quick move. So that can be a pretty significant increase in damage. That's the same multiplier as stab. Definitely going to see some Pokemon dealing a lot more damage during certain types of weather. Continuing on, in windy weather, you're going to see dragon, flying, and psychic types boosted. In rain, you'll see water, electric, and bug types boosted. In fog, you'll see dark and ghost types boosted. And in snow, you'll see ice and steel types boosted. Now we know that every type is going to be affected by at least one type of weather. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 types. That leaves 5 types left. So the 5 types whose weather affinities we don't know yet are fairy, fighting, poison, rock, and normal. And I could guess which group they're going to go into, but that really does us no good. We'll find out soon enough which weather types are going to affect these last 5 types of Pokemon. So I think that's it. I think that's it for what we know about weather. Personally, I'm really excited to see how this plays out in-game. Obviously, it's going to have some pretty fun effects. It's going to be a lot of fun to like go out in different types of weather and see different types of Pokemon spawning. I am going to have to travel around a little bit. I definitely need to get to some snow before the winter ends. And I'm planning on doing that anyway at some point. But again, we'll revisit this topic once it's officially released or if we get any new information about it between now and then. For now, I'm going back to editing for the second time today. Did I mention I only slept 2 hours last night? It might be another short night for me. I have a feeling Gen 3's coming. Oh, I'm excited. I get so much energy when there's new content on the horizon, when big things are happening in Pokemon GO, and it kind of just keeps me going, but at some point in the next few days, I'm gonna crash. I'll see you guys very soon.